BBC Radio 1.
Maybe the night that my tears might let me know all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer. Maybe the night that my tears might let me know all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer, all the stars are closer.
It's March 2019. If fans of yours walked up to you in the street today, what are they most likely to ask you about or to say?
Oh, what did they ask me about? They asked me about Star Wars.
Han Solo!
Which is impressive considering, you have to be a pretty big nerd to know that, right?
Hey, Maz.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. But Star Wars fans mean business.
We do.
Wakanda forever!
Definitely a lot of Wakanda's forever. I get a lot of my daughter loves you. I definitely get a lot of that.
I wrote down 5 guesses. Wakanda Forever was number 1. Number 2 was You're Great. I bet you get that, right?
I do.
You get that a lot. Can I have a selfie?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's a standard, isn't that?
Do I know you? Do you get Do I know you?
I get people saying, did you go to my high school? You look really familiar.
College, was it?
Yeah. I meet you with Jamal? Yeah.
And then my 5th one was screaming of some kind. Do you get people going,
Now, I mean, it started. I was at the premiere of Us. I was in the toilet and I got out and the woman washing her hands had a nervous breakdown. And it wasn't because she was happy to see me. It was because she was terrified to see me.
Quick question, were you wearing a red boiler suit?
I was not wearing a red boiler suit.
Okay, well that's on her. Okay.
I was in white.
Covered in blood?
No,
okay,
no.
Whew, okay, fine, moving on. How did we get here? I mean, you've done so much. I mean, Oscars, Yale education, star of a superhero movie. I know it's an impossible question, but how did we get here? When did you first think, I want to be an actress?
I wanted to be an actress way before I admitted it. So since I was like 5, I've been interested in playing make-believe for a living. And how did I get here? I think I credit my parents for it, for really supporting me and allowing me to be as weird and unconventional as I wanted to be.
Meet my self-appointed assistant, Abuk.
Hello, how are you? I'm very well, thank you.
Could you tell us the story about Ralph Fiennes? Because it's just so good, Constant Gardener, all the rest.
Oh yeah, well I was a production assistant on The Constant Gardener. It was while I was in college actually. I was on summer vacation in Kenya and I got a job on The Constant Gardener. I was first team production assistant, which meant I got to get everybody their coffee in the morning, among other responsibilities. And one afternoon I was having lunch with Rafe on set and he asked me what I wanted to do with my life and I very shyly said, I think I want to be an actor. And he sighed heavily and said, Rita, only act if you feel there's nothing else in the world you want to do. And it wasn't what I wanted to hear. I definitely wished he had said, here's my number, I'll get you in touch with my agent. But no, he gave me some really sobering advice. And it took me, I think, 4 years to really get to a point where I could say, you know what, Rafe? It is the only thing I want to do.
Yeah, I'm sure now. And can I just say, in terms of proving him right, wrong, or just being a success, you are, alongside Julie Andrews, I think, the only person who has appeared in one movie and had an Oscar for that one appearance.
Oh?
I.e., in your debut, you won an Oscar.
Huh.
So that's a 1-for-1 hit rate.
I love Julie Andrews.
As I expected, Mary Poppins practically perfect in every way.
So you and
I'd
her,
love to have something in common with her.
can you fly with an umbrella?
I cannot do that.
She's got that on
I
you.
have got to work on that.
Yes, next time.
Yeah.
Well. But seriously, 12 Years a Slave is obviously an incredible film. What was the process of getting that part? Because that is not your typical debut movie, is it?
It's not, and I think ignorance is bliss. Because I was in Yale and I was about to graduate. I had a manager at the time who put me up for the audition, and I just so happened to be flying to LA for our showcase there, and so she got me an audition with the casting director, and I went in, and the process just kept going from there, and the next thing I knew I was auditioning for Steve McQueen, and the next thing I knew he was calling me up and saying, I'd like to offer you this part. It was unreal. It was the stuff of movies, really.
Yeah. And then months later, you're having the most intense scenes I could imagine possible with Michael Fassbender.
Now you speak. Now it's when I had to her lies you find your tongue.
I went to Master Shaw's plantation.
You admit it.
Yes. Really.
That must have been a really tough shoot.
Yes, it was, but it was also one of the most joyful, creative experiences that I've ever been a part of, you know?
Yeah.
And I think out of great suffering comes great joy.
And it's a work of art.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
Now, obviously, you mentioned her earlier, but Maz Katana is, Kanata, can't get that wrong. Katana is a sword, is something completely different.
A map to Skywalker himself. You are right back in the mess.
And you may not remember this, but I did the press conference in the UK for The Force Awakens.
Lupita Nyong'o.
We had a little conversation beforehand, and I said, look, I'm aware that you can't say anything. So my idea is this. Could you just tell me literally what you're allowed to say, and then we'll move on? So I queued you up, and you gave out the lines you'd been told to say. And it was just pitch perfect.
I play Maz Kanata. She's a pirate. She's lived for a while. She has a colorful past, and she owns a bar.
Guys, there's your scoop, all right?
It must be really difficult not to casually say to your friends, oh yeah, I was doing this thing the other day.
It's actually not difficult at all.
Oh, is it not?
I love a secret, and I like keeping it.
Hence the Jordan Peele movie.
Exactly. And Black Panther, I love secrets.
What happens in the hall?
That's where you find out the secret.
Exactly.
You reveal the secret, so you make a mistake and reveal something. In the elevator, we know.
Excellent. I want to get nothing out of her.
That lightsaber was Luke's and his father's before him, and now it calls to you.
With that film, you've talked about, people recognize you in the street about it, but what cannot you tell me about Episode 9?
What cannot I tell you? That in itself is like, you're playing games. I can't. Well, what I cannot tell you is everything.
Perfect. Please go on. No, I'll stop. You've done many other things, Jungle Book, Queen of Catway, but then there's, as you mentioned, that small independent picture, Black Panther.
If you are not so stubborn, you would make a great queen.
I would make a great queen because I am so stubborn.
If that's what I wanted.
The 9th biggest film of all time. Deep breaths. How does that feel? And what does that movie mean to you?
I feel like my chest swell with pride, when I think about Black Panther and all that it's done and all that it has come to mean to people. Yeah, it was like, that was a real labor of love. They gave us an incredible opportunity, Marvel did, and Ryan Coogler really just led us into victory, Yeah. And now we just bask in the glow. That is Wakanda.
Claw, plus 8.
General,
In position to secure our exit.
and the vibranium.
I don't see it yet.
You, I think, have one of the best, I'm going to call it a shoe strike, where you clock a guy in the head with, with your high heel.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so much going on in that scene that you may not notice at first time, but second time I was like, yeah, she totally took someone out.
Yes, and it's finally putting these things to good use,
These are painful for you as well.
Yes, feel it. Feel it like I feel it every day.
I really hope there's going to be a movie where someone says, feel it, as they take someone out.
Right, let's have some fun.
That movie also has you just in the shell of a car. There's just the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
Was that you actually in this little bit of prop? Were you actually skidding down a road? How many takes does that take?
Well, we did that in the studio, and we did a few of those takes. And when Ryan pitched it to me, I was just like, okay, well, let's try it. You know, and I couldn't really tell how it was going to read comedically, you know? But then the minute I got in it and I was pushed down, I was like, yeah, this is kind of silly.
Yeah, I get it.
This is going to be really silly and cute.
It was like something from Wacky Races. It was just like, oh, here we are.
And the funny thing was just keeping a straight face because it felt really dumb, you know? Because obviously I wasn't in a real car, you know, even in a real place.
It's just like, you know, cheap theatre.
Yeah, it was like green screen and just going like...
It's all making up. What is the trick to not frisbee fighting, but ring blade fighting?
Oh, yeah. What is the trick to ring blade fighting? Well, the thing about it is because it's actually quite tough to think of a circle as a weapon because I trained first with swords, right? And with swords, there's points to it. But it's similar with a blade, but it just causes a little bit of a skip in the brain because you're like, where the hell's the point, you know? So it took some practice to get suave with it, and then I used to like challenge myself to throw it up and catch it by the handle, and I got it after maybe a few weeks.
A few weeks, 100 million
of making
tries.
people watch me do it.
Watch, guys, seriously. I know this is a dinner party, but watch.
Yeah, I did it, and then I went to Letitia and I was like, Tish, look what I could do. And she was like, I could do that, and she did it in like one go. Wakanda forever! Well, you know, we all have different skills.
I've long said it, she's too talented and she needs to just cool it. Just like a little bit less.
It's like there's this black cloud hanging over us.
Let's jump to Us, which is a film. It's just one of those movies you want to talk about immediately with everyone. You see it and you just want to talk about it. But spoilers and all the rest, I'm just going to ask you, how have you been describing this film to your friends? How have you been summing it up?
Well, I describe it plot-wise, you know, because I think the trailer sets it up really well, as it's about this family who's on vacation, and the mom whom I play, Adelaide Wilson, is riddled with this trauma from her childhood that she can't shake off or explain.
I feel like it means like she's getting closer.
Who? The mirror girl?
And she's convinced that something bad is going to happen.
You don't believe me?
I do. I do. I'm processing. Okay? I just can't believe you kept all this inside for so long.
And she's proven right when at the end of the night, these 4 shadowy figures show up at the top of her driveway.
Hey! 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 Hey!
And their worst nightmare and yours ensues.
One of my favorite things about the film that I can talk about is the poster, right?
Yeah.
We've got a little slice of it there on the screen. It is so creepy, but so beautiful. There's just something about it. A single tear, always, but then the face. Tell me there wasn't an actual your face in your hand.
There was not an actual my face in my hand. I think it was just like, they had me hold like this just blank cut out that looked like a fan. I thought it was a fan. I was like, this is an interesting take on our film.
It's going to get hot in the cinema. Bring a fan.
I think they mentioned to me but I wasn't paying any attention. I just, you know, obviously was just thinking about my performance in the time, and they can take care of the rest. And then I saw it and I was like, that is brilliant.
Damn.
I mean, I guess it was a mask, but it wasn't my face. It was because there was the hole obviously there for me to look through. Yeah.
It's amazing. And that tagline, watch yourself.
Yeah, I know, right? It means so many things.
It's good. What adjectives would you use to describe the film?
I'd say terrifying, suspenseful. I would say funny. I would say funky.
He's kidding, right?
He's not kidding.
Weird. lingering. What else would I say? That's all I can gather for now.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's a classic right there.
What does I Got 5 on it mean?
It's about drugs.
It's not about drugs. It's a dope song. Don't do drugs.
Get in rhythm.
How often do you find
There you go. There you go.
5 on it stuck in your head?
Not at all, actually.
What?
No.
My whole life, it feels like it's been, as soon as
I know.
I watched the trailer, I went, no, don't. It's back. It's
Really?
back. Yeah, it's so catchy.
It is catchy, but it's not stuck in my head because every time I hear it, I'm happy to hear it.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? So I still enjoy it. It's not yet become, like when you have a song stuck in your head, sometimes you want to put a stake through your ear to get it out. But I don't feel that way about 5 on it.
It's me and some scissors right now, that's where
Oh,
we're at.
yes, exactly. Scissors. Get it out.
And you play 2 roles in this movie. And again, without giving away too much.
What are you people?
You have to, I don't know where you begin to find the character, but the tethered version of your original character has this voice. This voice is incredible. How did you find it? And could you tell me a bit about the laugh?
Yeah. Well, I was inspired by the condition spasmodic dysphonia, which is a condition that is brought about by a trauma, sometimes emotional, sometimes physical, but also sometimes just inexplicable, where the vocal cords begin to spasm involuntarily, and it creates this kind of irregular flow of air. And so I built off of that to create this voice, because in the script there was a line that said she hadn't used her voice for a while. So so that's where that came from.
That laugh, though, chills.
That's good.
I wouldn't dare to try it myself, but it's like, please stop laughing. Whatever you're doing, it's not just whatever I'm doing. It's not funny.
That's very flattering. Thank you.
With this film, how hard was it during the shooting of it not to go, Jordan, what does that mean? What is this referencing? Why have you made that detail?
Jordan's open, and he is very generous with information, and I'm the kind of actor where the more I know, the more confident and able I am to do my job. And so I would often ask him what things meant, and he would share. But still, when I watched the film, I got on the phone and was like, whoa, what did that mean? And that and that. Because he's just so full of it. He's full of it on all sorts of levels. And you think it's about one thing, and then you see it and you're like, I know there's more to that.
Exactly.
And it's interesting to be a part of something and still not know everything, Because I thought I knew everything until I watched this film and realized he probably shared maybe 69.7% of what ended up being in the film.
If I had his mobile number, he would block me straight away, because I'd be like, I've had another thought.
But you'd be surprised, he's so open to that.
Yeah.
I bother him, yes. I still bother him about Get Out.
Yes.
He
did this YouTube thing, I don't know who it was for, explaining, doing a breakdown of what it was and how it worked. And I was like, oh my, I genuinely thought I was clever.
Yeah.
I thought I knew stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go, oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah, I'm just
dumb.
Yeah, you're half a sandwich.
Yeah, that's what people call me. How did you, who told her that? That's entirely unacceptable, but that's fine. Moving on to what else is going on in your life. I see that you are producing and going to be starring in Born a Crime. Is that right?
Yes, that is true.
That book is amazing, and Trevor Noah is incredible. It must feel like a bit of a privilege to be taking on that.
Oh, yes. I read the book actually while I was shooting Black Panther, and I immediately called up Trevor and I was like, if there's ever a film version / can there be, I would love to play your mother. Please give me that honor. And he said the honor was all his, and I was like, yes, glory be to God. And I sent you an email and I said, Trevor, please, would you do me the honor of letting me play your mother?
And
I was like, I don't know if it'll work out. And then she sent me a pic of her muscles, and I was like, oh, that's my mom. Yeah, that's my mom.
It's so funny. His life could so easily have a tragic sheen, but because of how he sees it, the comedy is just so visceral.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you what's next for you, but I'm imagining it might be that.
No, I'm actually going to be doing a thriller called 355.
Okay.
An action thriller with Jessica Chastain and Marion Cotillard and Penelope Cruz and Bing Bing Pan. So yeah, that's
Clang, name drop, bam, amazing.
Just a few unknowns.
I want to finally ask you, what have been your life highlights so far? Because I have one suggestion before you go.
Goodness, okay.
My one suggestion is this. You met Elmo.
Elmo? I know, that is an underplayed highlight.
Oh, hi! Elmo's with his good friend, Lupita. Hello.
You're right.
Oscar? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Elmo. Yes, please.
Well, you know, that gold man got me to Elmo.
What?
Yes, of course. I did it after, so you know.
Elmo's such a snob.
He's like
only speak to Oscar winners.
Basically.
It's in my rider, okay? Just to be clear.
Elmo loves the skin he's in.
Me too. I love my skin.
And I want to ask you, where are you keeping the Oscar right now? Because when you were on with Ellen, she asked you and you were like, where's it ended up?
It's on a shelf.
A shelf?
Yeah, it's on a shelf. It's on its own shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, my final question, are you still in touch with Liza Minnelli?
Oh my goodness, I am not. I love your questions. They're so obscure.
She does know me. I told you. Seriously, like
I'm not.
Your instant friendship and all of that.
It was incredible.
And in the selfie,
we were besties.
And you can't see her in the selfie because she's behind.
know,
she's too small.
Poor thing.
Your brother's there, but not Liza Minnelli.
I know. Shame on my brother.
I'll Photoshop him out.
Prime real estate.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like that, then do watch these videos, or you can listen to my podcast called Radio 1 Screen Time. Oh, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You can now get more Radio 1 in your life by downloading the BBC Sounds app or the BBC iPlayer app. Search for full-length versions of these interviews by typing in Movies with Ali Plumb.